Hello everyone, welcome back to Banners of Ruin. Last time I believe we recruited Deslin, our third member of our party, and we are now just working through the second tier of play here through Old Town. And with 3 18s and 3 combats, it's simple enough that we're just going to be entering any one of those. So we've got 1 rank with 3 foes. And Islington is taking the brunt of those hits. So, let's see. Strategy. Every time you move, gain 5. Every time you move an opponent, deal 5 damage. I think Islington can probably take that. In fact, it's Deslin that's taking 2 hits. So, Islington, take strategy. And kick somebody. This is 8 applying block if this character has 3 or more allies, and 3 by 3. Let's kick the 3 by 3. We can survive these 2 8 attacks quite comfortably for now. Deal 12 damage, move or swap opponent to a new position. We mirror that. We want Dreslin to be on their own at the back for some reason. Why was that? I think it's because of one of the cards that we have in our deck that we don't want them. Oh, they have an attack where they deal damage, and when they deal damage, they deal damage to their allies in their rank as well. That's why we want to avoid being in the same place. Okay, then we will just take cover. We will offer 5 defense to the back there. We will not control right now. Instead, I'll gain some more shield. Discard a card for control, and then Kesselmead here. We can create 3 concealed blades and start making somebody bleed. And that's going to be this guy. So with 9 bleed there, they are not too long for this world, I think. And bleeding did permeate through the shield, which is great. So the guy at the back is attacking Islington for 3 damage 3 times. We do not have anything that can move them, but I think that's going to be okay. So we'll get them to... Now, we don't even need to brace for ourselves. For 3 damage, we're going to be okay. So let's start with a Warhammer. And deal 13, and if an opponent only in that lane, do 10. But I want to roar first. Should have done that before even the Warhammer, because with that and then this, we can actually kill them. That's good. Reckless Cleave, that's this guy's talent. Ruin a card in hand, deal 20 plus weapon damage to opponent rank. Allies in your rank take 15 damage. So that's going to be 31 damage to the full rank here. And we're going to ruin Brace. Well, we might as well play Brace then, because this way we don't have to ruin anything. The opponents missed their turn because the enemy that was in that rank has died. We move back to the front. We need to do 9 damage here. So I think that will do. So they're going to die to the poison now. And we can do enough damage here. If we make concealed blades, we can hit, and then they're taking 8. Or we can just hit them on our own terms. So things continuing to go pretty well. We'll take our cash. 6 damage if front, 10 damage. Deal 6 damage to the opponent with the lowest vitality. Deal weapon damage. If two-handed weapon, deal damage to the lane. I think we can take that. An old scarred wolf sits on the margins of the road, a cloth outspread to catch spare change. Select a card, move it here, or upgrade a random, gain a random upgrade token rather. Let's take the upgrade token. A humble stone well reveals itself to you in the center of the street. A frail old beggar kneels beside it. You approach the well to find the beggar muttering a low, quiet prayer. Most folk don't know what this is, the beggar whispers, without lifting his bowed head. I see the crow's feet on your cloaks. Speak his name and he shall heal you. You see an old token lodged inside the well, within arm's reach. Gain Lucky Charm, gain 10 florins, or kneel beside the beggar and pray. Remove a card from your deck and get a random token. Well, that's great. So we get to remove a card from our deck. We will remove a basic strike. And we have received make -1 stamina cost, so we can make one of our cards cheaper to play. Obviously, we would like to play something that is A, expensive, and B, playable by everybody. So the question is then, what do we pick? We've got a couple of these more expensive two-handed cards. Let's do deal weapon damage if only opponent in lane 10. Now let's do kick. We almost always want to be able to kick somebody, and to be able to kick somebody for cheaper is going to do us great. Armory reserves, weapons and armors. Large crowd is blocked, and some off-duty guards. You should, unless you really want the off-duty guards to spawn, we can do this for 1. This will go to 2 and 1 respectively, which means we can still take either of those encounters if we want them. And now we have a choice of combat or armory reserves. Let's take the combat. We're not too far away from gaining another level. Okay. Front rank attacking first for 8. This guy, Fortress, gains 25 defense and 3 bolster. So bolster is extra defense every turn, ticking down by 1. And then 8 damage as well. So they're both attacking Islington, which is not ideal. Deal 13 damage if two-handed weapon deal damage to lane. That is something we would like to do, certainly. Roar. Wild Brawl. Tensions. Brace. So we're not going to be able to move anyone or defend for any more than we have. So we're just going to have to try and hit somebody as hard as we can, as fast as we can. We should definitely apply tensions to rank. That's free. And I certainly think we want to roar on somebody. Let's do this weaker of the two of them. So they now have 3 stacks of Overwhelm, so each attack here will do 175% damage. So let's do this, making sure to attack with our two-handed weapon. That attacks through the lane. Then we want Deslin here to do Wild Brawl. Every character loses 1 stamina. For each stamina spent, deal 6 damage to rank. And this rank is overwhelmed, so this should hurt everybody quite well. Yeah, there's only 6 HP left on this guy. So let's get Islington set with strategy. We'll let Deslin take a brace here. And then in order to try and kill this guy, we'll create some concealed blades. They have 2 HP with 3 bleed, and what will happen is when they die, they will apply vulnerability to all of their friends, which is great. We may as well play the other 2 concealed blades that we have. So let's get the big guy bleeding under this giant stack of shield he's about to create himself. Right, guys at the back are doing 3x3 each to our 2 front runners. Scornful. Ruin a card, apply 8 crippled, spawn a concealed blade. Deal 6 damage if only opponent in lane, deal plus 10. So these are ranks, these are lanes, so we can apply that to somebody. Weapon damage. So weapon damage on our two-handed Warhammer is much higher, so we definitely want to do that. I think we're just going to start trying to get this guy down as fast as possible, particularly while they're vulnerable. And we'll defend once there. We'll get some quick hands going at the back rank. Unfortunately, we don't have the energy to play our Warhammer that we just drew as much as we would like to. Who are we going to apply? We'll apply the crippled to this guy. Yeah, let's ruin that because it's probably not going to see it again. I think this is the first time we've seen a ruined card, so as you can see, it's now just a ragged claw, take 5 damage, deal 5 damage, take 1 damage ourselves. And we'll apply that cripple to the guy in the center of the front row here, because he can be kicked into the vacant space behind him. Then we will guard, put more bleed on this guy, and with 10 extra defense, we'll just keep rallying on that guy. Back to the front, we get 3 extra draw because we had 3 preparation here, now tick down to 2 preparation, so we got this nice big hand. Dealing 18 and gaining 10 defense, and dealing 8 if opponent has shield, applies 2 vulnerable, moves forward if possible. So we definitely want to try and take out the Ender Brute here before they do a big attack, and it shouldn't be too hard considering they're bleeding for 12, so we only need to find 24 damage. And if we need to, we can withdraw them and move them aside as well. Ruin a card, deal 20. Yes, so we definitely want to do this. So we'll ruin a card. Let's ruin Rush because we don't have anything to improve it with. And then attack up here at the front. That did a huge amount of damage. We need to find just a tiny bit more damage. Plus 3 stamina. Gain 1 winded. Deal 8 damage. Take 2 damage. If we have to, I guess we can just poison you for 3. Now we'll take some shield for ourselves. We don't need to move anybody. Nobody has any stacks of crippled any longer. So let's just take some extra concealed blades. We'll start going after this guy. Stack lots of nice bleed on them. Another missed turn for our foes. Right. Who's injured? Islington is injured, so we start with yellow powder, I think. Then this is 11 damage if opponent has no block, apply 5 bleeding, so we'd like to get rid of the block if we can. There's Oathkeeper back again. And deal 6 damage, push opponent to back rank if occupied, switch positions. Well, we will do 6 damage just to get rid of this shield. Then we can attack with our falchion. Excuse me. Now, who's being attacked? We both are, but only for 6. If we have more than 18 shield, apply 4 bleed. So we actually have the exact amount of shield we would like to have. Don't want to kick. We don't need solid footing. what we could even do is deal 12 damage and then move them up and forward. We come to match, and now we're still not at threat of being hurt. They have 5 crippled and 5 bleeding, so if we kick them, they take 5 from the crippled, they'll take 5 from the bleeding, they'll die this turn. Then we're down to just 1 foe remaining, and we should be able to deal with them without any issues. Defend gains 8 defense, that's not going to be a problem. Let's start by drawing. We'll do a very big attack here. We'll make sure we do more attack and bleed, and with that they are all set to bleed to death. Things are going pretty swimmingly at the moment. Apply weapon damage, apply charge equal to weapon damage and move or swap to the front rank. Tension, apply 3. We've got one of those in the deck already. I don't think we need another, and I don't think we need Reckless Aid either. So the large crowd ticks down to 1. We still can't move through it. Now we can do a combat, or we can just gain 500 XP, and that will level up Kesselmead, Islington, and we'll be 18 short for Deslin. So Kesselmead. We're getting a passive and a stat upgrade on this level. At the start of their turn, if the character has less than 30% vitality, gain 1 rage. Whenever this character deals damage, that damage is doubled. Ticks down by 1 at the end of each turn. So when we're at very low health, we will do double damage. At the start of their turn, the character gains 8 defense. Whenever this character takes damage from bleeding, they take 1 will. They gain 1 will, excuse me. I think Steadfast is probably going to be fine. I'd rather keep myself uninjured at high XP rather than wait to be at low XP and have Rage come into effect. And we'll go with a 3rd point of will here because he has the best ability to make those concealed blades and do extra damage to our foes. At the start of their turn, if the character has no allies in their rank, they gain 15 defense and 1 stamina. Whenever this character uses a racial ability, draw 1 card. Start each combat with +2 will. I'll take the abilities to draw extra cards. And I don't think we need the extra will. Especially because this gives us a point of will anyway, so we'll take even more stamina. We can afford to take more expensive cards if we wish to. Receive blessings, enter combat, or buy cards. Let's receive a blessing. The wolf's voice commands a quiet respect from the crowd, all absorbed in reverence, but he pauses as you approach, fixing you with a knowing, sympathetic stare. "We have all known hurt, brothers," he says in a low voice, moving to embrace you. "But we might aim to live as the Apastriox did, burning bright in Tempha's wake." He lightly presses the palm of his paw to your forehead. Feel his might and channel through you, gain high spirits. Next combat, next time we lose stamina, it's refunded. Addition by subtraction, remove a card from your deck. Thank the monk for his blessing. Spend 250 florins and gain inner strength. Bless. Gain 10 charge and banish. Upgrade token. +3 stamina cost. Spawn a bless. So something in our hand becomes very expensive, but we get a bless when we do so, which makes our next attack deal 10 more damage. I think I'm just going to get better by subtraction. Remove a card, save our cash. What do we want to remove though? Probably get rid of just the final basic strike. We generally tend to acquire more strikes than we do defends. That's why we get rid of the basic strikes before we get rid of the basic defends. We can buy cards from the Lightfoots. We can discard all visible combats with an angry mob. That would be a combat here or a combat there, which there currently are not, so that would just be a pass. Or we can go and see what provisions are on hand. We'll take some provisions. A hooded figure stops you in your path. May the wind always be at your back. All party members gain 3 bleeding. Apply double your party's total bleed to a target. Gain defense equal to the total defense of adjacent allies on rank. Strategy, every time you move, gain 5. Every time you move an opponent, deal 5. None of these really speak to me. Because we have our split rank, because our guy at the back is doing big damage on his own, protection is less good, especially seemingly for its cost. I don't like to mess around with blood sacrifice. That seems like it's just going to do 6 damage to our party to deal a little bit extra bleeding when we're doing a lot already. And we already have a strategy in deck, and it banishes so we don't have to see it again. So we'll forfeit here. It's the Crazy Weasel. A weapons cache or a combat with skull and 2 swords. Let's go Crazy Weasel. The weasel babbles with you with a manic grin on his face before spluttering into a fit of coughs. Wanna change a piece of yourself? So we can transform a skill card. I'm wondering if Deadly Harvest is all that good. We never really teched deep into Crippled. It's okay, the Cripple, but I don't think Deadly Harvest for 2 is all that strong, so I'm going to transform this. Precision. If this character's next attack deals damage to Vitality, half of the damage is applied as bleeding. Ruin all cards in your hand, deal 5 damage for each card ruined, banish, and again protection. I think a Precision sounds like a good time to me. Combat, Merchant in Trouble, or Crossroads, clear everything to a depth of 10. Let's do the combat so we can get some XP and level up Dreslin before we reach the Crossroads in the middle of this central arc of the campaign. So we've got dealing 8 damage, applying safety in numbers. Cleaving for 15 damage to opponent rank, prioritizes front rank, gains 10 defense for every opponent hit. And safety in numbers dealing 8 damage as well. If we could move this guy, I would love to. However, doesn't look like we have anything that's going to do that. We will definitely start with a Roar. I thought that was going to be the whole rank for some reason. Never mind. Islington is injured, so he gets to apply the yellow powder. Now, we can discard a card, gain 3 charge, and then rush for 12 damage. That seems like something I would like to do. The question is, would I like to move somebody back so that we can avoid all of this attacking? I don't think so, because it's going to mess up Dreslin's main fighting chance. So let's put... No, we've got to ruin a card for that. So we're going to ruin, withdraw, gain 1 hysterical. When hysterical, this character loses all defense and cannot receive more whilst they have stacks of hysterical. Ticks down by 1 turn. Gain 1 hysterical, deal 5 damage, apply 5 bleeding. So if somebody had no defense already, that would be great, but I don't want to lose it. So we're going to have somebody. This guy's started with 4 charge, so what is going on? Oh, we need to apply the rest of that. You have 4 charge already. If we discard a card, we go up to 7 charge, so we can rush, and we'll do it against this guy who has 2 stacks of Overwhelm already. 12, 12, 12. Not bad going. Then we'll also put some light bleeding in here with no more cards to play. That's the end of our turn. This is going to suck. We need to make sure Islington does not die. Deals 8 damage. If opponent has shield, applies 2 vulnerable. Deals 15 damage. If opponent has more than 40 shield, applies 6 bleeding. Deals 2 times 4 damage, moves and swaps to a random position. Well, that's great, because they've got 12... Oh, no, they're going to move us, not them. I'm not sure. But we want to just keep attacking and taking out one of their number as fast as possible. Who's being attacked for the most here? Right. Islington gets a brace, because they need the defense. We're also going to start trying to take out this guy. Alright, they are out. That's good. We'll spawn take cover. This is doing 8. But we'll stop the damage by anticipation, so we might as well give extra defense to Deslin. And whilst we have 3 will, we'll make some of these. And we'll get this guy bleeding. Alright, I'd really like kick or something at this moment. 12 damage to Kesselmead is fine. Deals 20 damage, gains 13 defense. Against Dresden, who does not have any defense currently. Deal 6 damage, push opponent back. Good, that's going to be great. We'll probably push the Ender Knight back. So, step 1. Apply that to the rank. Step 2, apply strategy. Step 3, battering ram this guy back. Then we can focus over here. If this character's next attack deals damage to vitality, we're unlikely to do so because they have 30 shield and I don't think we're going to get through that much, although that said, there's a chance. So this is going to do 11. They have exactly 11, so we need to get one more. We cannot get one more point of damage, unfortunately. We'll put the poison on them. Oh wait, they're vulnerable, so this might do more damage, in fact. So, precision. Yeah, we put a decent chunk of bleed on there. Okay, how's that going? That is just fine. So this guy is dealing 20 damage, gaining 13 defense. Can we move them? No. Okay, well, if we can't move them, we're gonna have to find some defense and hit as hard as we can, as fast as we can. This guy's going to die to bleeding next turn, so that is not a concern for us, so we can just focus on the back. So they are definitely going to want to play solid footing, but we want to play that last. So it's going to be guard, guard, a 2 damage Warhammer, then solid footing. Deal 11 damage if only opponent in lane deal 10 damage. That's not going to work out, but we can still make the attack. Then a little extra damage, and then ruin a card, deal 20 damage, plus 6. Oh, that's... I got confused about what symbol was what. Okay, well, we'll take 3 more concealed blades. Stack the bleeding as deep as we can. we actually had enough defense. That's lovely. This guy's going to die to bleeding, as we've discussed multiple times. So you can have some defense and give... well, I screwed that up, obviously. You're in the front row. Deal 10 damage. Deal weapon damage and apply bleed. Move them to here. We don't need to kick you. You can brace. You can guard. Okay. Bit of a mess of a turn, but we made it. This guy is probably going to die this turn with 35 HP left. Apply tensions. You don't have any shield, so frenzied is not a problem. And with 22 bleeding and 7 poison, that will deal 29 damage. They are out of the fight. Okay. Cash. Cards. This is really good if you have loads of allies of the same race, but we don't. Nothing else is anything I want here. Deslin levels up. When this character kills an enemy with an attack, their maximum vitality is increased by 3. That's incredible. Fanatic and Hearty, whenever this character is healed, they gain an additional 5. We're going to have them kill as many things as possible. And please take an extra energy. And here we are, pretty much at the crossroads, so we will call that a day here, but please join me next time to see if we can't get through the rest of Old Town and then later on to those nasty baddies who are running this city in a bad way and we want to oversee them. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you're enjoying this mini-series, please do let me know. Otherwise, if you can put any questions or comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.